What's up guys, it's the Horror Wombat, and hey, just as a quick warning to my fellow Disney lovers, yeah, you're probably gonna want to click off this video because your childhood is about to be ruined yet again. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Pinocchio horror movie officially in the works, and we recently just got our first look at it. And guys, I think it's safe to say that this movie's gonna be a masterpiece. Yeah, you probably can't see this, but I was doing air quotations when I said the word masterpiece. But surprisingly, at the same time, it doesn't look like absolute dog shit either. I mean, based on these behind the scene pictures, there's definitely more of a budget in this movie, that's for sure. But I honestly wouldn't be getting my hopes up about this movie being any good. Although there's possibly a decent chance I might be wrong about this, since believe it or not, this movie actually has some potential. I know, crazy, right? So this movie is titled Pinocchio Unstrung, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like that title. I know I literally just said there's gonna be potential for this movie, but I figured we should just get the negatives out of the way first. So what's wrong with the title for me? Really, all I don't like is the decision to use the word unstrung in the title, which I personally feel like they're implying the fact that this version of Pinocchio is the only version that doesn't have strings, which, as I'm sure you know, that's not the case. The whole point of Pinocchio is that he's a puppet with no strings. I mean, the Disney version literally made a whole song about that. So I personally feel like they could use a better word than unstrung, but hey, if that's the best they could come up with, then so be it, I guess. But now, onto the positives. Recently, it was revealed that the titular wooden boy himself was going to be a practical animatronic, and not just some lousy looking CGI. In fact, here's a behind the scenes look at the Pinocchio animatronic, and what the f***, guys, why does this actually look really good? Is there actually going to be some effort put into this movie? I don't think my mind is ready to process this, guys. But in all honesty, and this is me being totally unironic, I think this single video of the Pinocchio robot is already 100 times better than the entirety of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. But you're probably thinking, okay, it can't get any more insane than this, right? Well, congratulations, you are dead wrong. Because we also got word of some of the cast members of the movie, and my god guys, why the hell are there like actual legends in this movie? Again, further proof that the budget of this movie is actually like decent. Do you know who's playing Geppetto in this movie? It's Richard Brake, for Pete's sake. That rhymed. Now, some of you might be asking to yourself, who the f*** is Richard Brake? Well, he's one of the most underrated character actors in the business. You might know him best as the Night King from Game of Thrones. Oh, and he's also the guy that killed Bruce Wayne's parents in Batman Begins. So he has done some pretty notable roles. Oh, and I just gotta point this out real quick. He's also excellent as the main villain in this movie called The Last Stop in Yuma County, which just came out earlier this year. If you're a fan of Tarantino or the Coen brothers, do yourself a favor and go check it out. But you wanna know something crazy? He's not even the most well-known actor in this movie, because guess who's also going to be in this shit? None other than Robert Englund. That's right, Freddy Krueger himself is going to be a part of this Disney universe now. And guess what? He's playing Jiminy Cricket. What the f*** even is this, bro? Although I'm not gonna lie, Robert Englund is kind of a perfect choice for this character. Given that he's played Freddy Krueger for a good chunk of his career, he knows how to play witty characters. Although, I'm gonna be totally honest for a second, however, when I saw that Englund was cast in this movie, I thought for sure it was gonna be like a Hatchet situation, where he's in it for like 5 minutes and then he gets killed right after. But you know what? Kudos to the filmmakers for giving him another large role. And before some of you ask this, no, he's not going to be wearing a cricket costume or anything like that, although that would be really funny. It's probably going to be some voiceover work or something. I mean, the dude has literally said that he's not going to play Freddy Krueger physically anymore. You really think he's going to sort of come out of retirement just to wear a f***ing cricket costume? I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you. But something I did find interesting is that every character in the movie has been cast with the exception of one, and that is Pinocchio himself. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be some random kid doing voiceover work just like Robert Englund. I mean, we already know it's going to be an animatronic in the movie, so obviously there's not going to be a physical actor playing him. I mean, unless they need somebody for like wide shots. Actually, you know what? Wouldn't it be hilarious if they got someone like, I don't know, Bruce Campbell, and they had him do the voice of Pinocchio? The plot of this movie is already insane enough. You might as well have Pinocchio sound like a Giga Chad or something. I mean, they got Robert Englund, so I wouldn't say the chances are impossible. Dude, the filmmakers now have the opportunity to do the funniest shit ever.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
but I'm not gonna count on it. What I can count on though is how much these filmmakers are gonna milk the ever-loving hell out of this whole Disney horror movie universe. Now granted, I'm not too familiar with this whole monster universe in general. The only movie from this franchise that I've actually seen is the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. To put it shortly, that movie is bad. Like, it's really bad, okay? So bad, in fact, that it's apparently turning me into Mr. Mackey from South Park.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Back to Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, to quote what The Rock said, this movie is the biggest piece of dog shit. Like, holy guys, this movie is insanely bad. I mean, I know that's quite the hot take and all, but like, this movie's not even like so bad it's good. It's just boring as shit. You wanna know why? Because, and I'm not even joking, they actually tried to make this a serious movie. Yes, folks, this is a movie where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are the killers in a slasher film, and it's not even meant to be a comedy. The story sucks balls, and the acting is somehow worse than a middle school play. Plus, it's cheap as hell. Like, real cheap. And that's not really meant to be a criticism or anything, because there are actually some excellent movies out there that were also really cheap. I mean, you think they could have at least made a cool custom design for Pooh, but instead they went with some latex mess you can literally buy online. The one thing I'll compliment about this movie is the fact that some of the kills are actually pretty cool. There's some pretty good gore in this movie, I'll give them that. I mean, it's not like Terrifier gore or anything, but it's not bad. It's alright. But it doesn't contrast well with the fact that Pooh is the goofiest looking slasher villain I've ever seen in my life. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen the sequel to this movie, but everyone says it's a significant improvement over this one. The creature designs are a hell of a lot better, and apparently the acting is also pretty solid. So hey, gotta give credit where credit is due. I think it's important to bring these movies up because the guy who directed those movies, a guy named Rhys Frake Waterfield, aka the most British name I've ever heard in my life, he's also the one behind this Pinocchio movie. And from what I've seen, Waterfield did say he wants this movie to be way better than the last movie he made, which, while I'm not going to fully count on that, I am going to give this guy my blessing and pray that this movie is not total dog shit. He did say that the budget was much bigger for this one, and the fact that he wants to use as many practical effects as possible, which I can totally respect. Practical effects are always going to be superior to CGI any day. So guys, what are your thoughts about this Pinocchio horror movie? And also, what are your thoughts about the whole Disney horror movie franchise in general? It's definitely interesting to see the filmmakers experiment with all these characters and see what the results come to be. I mean, I'm not even joking when I say this. They're literally going to be making an Avengers-style crossover in this universe. It's called Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, which is currently in the run for the goofiest horror movie title of all time. I'm glad that these guys are passionate about what they're creating, but in the end, if I want to watch a movie where there's just a plethora of fairy tale characters, I'd rather stick to the Shrek movies if that's okay. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe waltz on over to that subscribe button, because your support would really mean a lot. But yeah, that's about it for today. Catch you guys in the next video. See ya.